Right guys, thought I'd give you a little update. It's been a couple of days since we filmed anything from our last video. Now the puppies are currently a week and 1 day old. So let's take you in and let's just show you, because a couple of things have changed. The setup, what we're going with now, as obviously, you know, when we last tuned in, Callie was having a heck of a lot of blood and stuff all coming from her back end after the pregnancy, where she ended up going down the vets and having to have some of the puppies removed. Now you can see here, there she is in her bed with the puppies. So the whelping area, as you could see when she started giving birth, was an absolute disaster. It was probably a bit too small, so we've made it a lot bigger now, and that's because of this way. Callie's now at the stage where she'll have her pups out with her most of the time, and they're only normally in the cage overnight, and even then throughout the night they come in and out at feeding times and stuff, or if we're manoeuvring or cleaning the room, we put them in the cage and put them out of the way, but Callie's right next to the cage all the time. So just thought I'd do a little video and show you the little setup here of what it's like now and the size of the whelping area. But you can see Callie's quite content laid down here feeding her puppies. I'm just going to sit you guys down because I can see there is one up Callie's bum, which we don't want that over there. I'm sure you don't want that over there too, Callie, do you? What colour do you reckon it is, guys? Excuse me. Good girl. Get this one out. Oh, it's orange. Orange is going back where he came from, Cal. Do you want him up there? Yeah? I'll budge pink up. Pink over here. There you go. Yeah, alright, good girl. So there you have it, guys. I'll leave Callie in peace. I won't disturb her when she's feeding and stuff. She could get a bit leery. But that is the new setup. You can see we've got the vet beds down and a lot bigger whelping area for her, which I would definitely recommend if you're breeding a big dog, to have quite a large whelping area, because that is one thing what we found quite stressful, especially when Callie went into labour. It was too small for us to manoeuvre around, and it was quite awkward. So there you have it. There's the puppies. Let's give you a little quick shot of these little babies. And Callie, you've been a good mum, haven't you? Yep.
She says, yeah, I'll be a very good mum.
So there they are. We'll get them out later and we'll sit down and I'll show you one by one each one and their colours and their characters, because I don't think we've done that just yet, so we'll do that a bit later on. And I'll show you the food regime, because that's changed for Callie, to make sure she's getting enough calories in, because of obviously she's feeding the puppies and we don't want her completely drained of energy. But I was quite shocked at how much it stripped her, where the puppies take all the goodness when they're growing inside the mum dog. So we've been bulking her up quite a lot, and she put a good bit of weight on in the last 3 days. Now the problem was where she struggled with being in labour for like 32 hours, and it was exhausting for her. She had to go to the vet, so there was a couple of bits where it was so hectic I didn't even get a chance to even think about grabbing my camera. But this is where we're at now. They're a week and 1 day old, and I'll show you a lot more of the routines and stuff of what we do to look after and manage these puppies. Right guys, so as I was saying earlier, we're about to mix up some food for Callie, and I thought I'd show you guys just what she's eating at the moment whilst she is feeding the puppies. There's a couple of things what we have to have in place for the licensing. So the dog food all has to be mixed in a completely separate area to where you have normal human food. So we've got this little section here in the kitchen and the cupboards and everything. This is where all the dog food area is and where we mix up the dog food. So we've got that out of the way, that bit. This is the area we're using. If you're breeding and you need a license, then you need to have a separate area, just like we've got here. Now down to Callie's food. when dogs are pregnant, I didn't realise until afterwards, I was quite shocked at how skinny Callie was. And that's because of when the puppies are inside growing, they take every bit of goodness out of the mum dog into growing in the puppies. So therefore, when they've gone into labour, they're actually left with just skin and bone, looking really skinny. And Callie was, especially being a Mastiff and quite a bulky kind of dog, it was really quite a shock to me. I didn't realise how skinny they go. So we're desperately trying to get some extra weight on Callie. So she's having quite big meals at the moment, quite a lot of them, just to get that weight back on her. It's been 2.5 weeks since the puppies were born, and doing this has actually worked really well, and it's put a lot of weight back on her. But now the puppies are getting bigger and still feeding off her, it's important that she has the right amount of nutrition go through her body, because this is where it's actually quite a dangerous stage for Callie if she's too weak, and she can have problems down the line, more so now about 2 weeks after the pregnancy than when she was actually pregnant. So now I've got that all out of the way, let's show you what I mix up and what Callie has at the moment. Due to being a hypoallergenic Bullmastiff, she has to have turkey most of the time because the chicken doesn't agree with her and it turns her out. So we've been through hell and back trying to find the right types of food without stuff in it what she's allergic to. So at the moment we're using these adult raw diet turkey cubes. Now these are just raw turkey meat with bits of vegetable and stuff in, already made up. So I've got 9 cubes here, so I put 9 cubes in, but just recently we've been bulking her up a bit more, so she's not having 9 anymore, she's now having 18, so there's another 9. So I put those all in there. These have all been left out to defrost because they were frozen. So that's 18 raw turkey cubes. Now what I do is I get a fork and I mash the turkey cubes. Let's move you guys over here so you can actually get a bird's eye view of what's going on here and see exactly what I mix up in the bowl. So these are the cubes. I just mash them with the fork like this, mash them all down. Like I said, we've just upped Callie's turkey intake. Now this is actually adult turkey meat. It is not the puppy turkey meat. I have got puppy turkey meat, which we'll add in a minute, because it's important that that mum dog is eating puppy food because it has a lot more nutrition for her at this stage. So that's the turkey meat all mashed in, as you can see. Looks almost like mashed up tuna, doesn't it, at this point? Then we have the puppy raw food. So this is the puppy food we've chosen at the moment because we've really struggled to get puppy food what is turkey. Now this is turkey with beef. It's quite hard to get hold of. Pets at Home don't let you pre-order as well. So with a big dog like Callie, we are flying through this stuff. It is turkey with beef. Beef normally doesn't agree with Callie. However, this is our only option at the moment because the other stuff what we found has been really, really horrible meat and it's not done her any good. So I then put this amount of the turkey meat in. So we open a pack and each feed she'll have 3 of these bowls a day. So this is the raw slab of raw turkey and beef meat. I'll cut that in half. And Callie will have half of one of these slabs. This is a 500 gram packet. So that's 250 grams of the turkey and beef raw meat on top of 18 squares of the raw food adult turkey meat. So we just mash it all in together, as you can see, just like this. I'm going to stir it all up. Mix it all in on top. You very much want it mixed well, so she's not got turkey and beef in some bits. We want it all mixed together so it's all blended in nicely. So that's not all. That is just the meat. there. As you can see, the dog is fed very, very well. Then we get some of this. This is Bone Builder calcium powder. So in this, it's just like, looks like chalk almost, but this is calcium powder. Now you don't give a dog this unless they've just given birth. So this is to boost up her calcium levels to make sure that she doesn't drain her body while she's producing milk for those puppies. Now what I've done here is I've put a spoon and a half full in there. She has 3 spoonfuls a day, but I only put 2 meals with calcium powder. She'll have 3 meals a day, so one of them at the end of the day won't have the calcium powder in. I found that's the best way of doing it. That's just because of some days Callie's not that hungry and doesn't want 3 bowls and she only eats 2. So I prefer to get the calcium powder in her in the first 2 bowls, and then if she chooses to not eat the 3rd bowl, it doesn't matter because she's still had that calcium powder to give her that boost with the puppies. So again, I mix that in, I stir it all into the meat here, as you can see. Then, once we've got that, to add to that, we've then got here's some we made earlier. A big bowl of mashed potatoes. Now these are just your average farm potatoes, boiled up and then mashed. These are cold, they've been in the fridge because we pre-cooked the potato because it's so much easier. And then I take out a nice portion of those potatoes, about that much. That will do with the potato. Anything I spill on the side I put back in. These potatoes can go back in for the next feed, so I put this back in the fridge. Now same again with these potatoes, I mashed them into the meat so it's all blended and mixed nicely. And at this point, whilst I'm mixing this up, Callie is in there feeding the puppies at the moment. So once I've gone back in with this, it wouldn't surprise me if some of the puppies are on the floor fast asleep from having their full feed. It is 11 o'clock at lunchtime, or just before lunchtime, so they don't normally eat too much at this time. It's more towards the nighttime feed. They end up really filling themselves up, and the morning feed. So I find these feeds don't go on quite so long with the puppies at around 11 o'clock and 1 o'clock. So as you can see, that is the potato all mixed in nicely with the meat in the bowl. Then what I take is, I know, right, you're thinking, God, this dog has a lot to eat. She does have a lot to eat, and it is just from literally trying to bulk her up at the moment. She's quite a high energy level dog too, so that will mean that she eats more. It does cost quite a bit to keep a dog like this and feed her like this. Then this is a whole bowl. As you can see, it's a small bowl, but it's a whole bowl of James Well-Beloved turkey and rice puppy biscuits. Now Callie, her original diet before she was pregnant wasn't any of the raw meat. She didn't have a meat diet. She actually had a James Well-Beloved large breed adult dry food diet, and that was all she had. When we would train her, we would use pure turkey breast, which she still has now and then, but due to her needing the goodness and going on the puppy food, she has gone off the adult biscuit at the moment. She will be going back on that, but for these next couple of weeks we need to get as much energy levels up and the weight back up, so this is why she's on this sort of stuff. And I take this whole bowl and I will be mixing this whole bowl of dry puppy biscuit into the meat, and you can see it kind of thickens it up a bit, makes it a bit harder. So I just work it into the meat, squash the biscuits in as we go, stir it around, and this whole bowl will go into this. You can see it mixes in quite nicely. Oh, I spilt some. This is why you have your own separate food area for feeding the dogs, in case you do have any spillages and you're not contaminating or cross-contaminating any of the areas where you have the human food. If you cross-contaminate areas like that, this is something they look for when they come out to assess you for your breeder's license. You must have a separate food area for the dog food. It's something what will stop you getting a license if you wanted one. And nowadays in England, I know every county is different, but in this county you have to have a license if you breed a dog or a cat and you're wanting to sell some of the puppies. So that there is why you have to meet the criteria or you won't get the license. And if you do it without the license and you get caught selling the puppies or advertising your animals without a license, you can end up getting put in prison for that. So the sentencing is quite harsh if you're caught. I don't think they regulate it very well, but either way, doing what we're doing, we wanted to do it properly. We got a license, and there's just some stuff for your information on what you would need if you were thinking of doing something like this yourself with your animals. And there you have it. This is the whole bowl of what Callie has, all mixed up, all together, ready to go. She will have that 3 times a day, minus the calcium powder in the meal at the end of the day. But that has managed to bulk her up. I'm just going to put this bit of meat, what we've got left here, in a bag and back in the fridge so it doesn't go off. There we go. That is the other half for the meal for Callie later on tonight of the puppy food. So that goes back in the fridge. Keep that stored nicely. This can all go over in the bin. That's the food. And if I pan you around here and show you, so I mentioned that Callie has turkey breast for treats throughout the day, and if she's doing anything we'll give her treats for listening. So this is freshly cooked turkey breast. I know it's on the side with the human food, but that's fine because this is actually human turkey and it's just been cooked. It's not being mixed with the dog at all. We're just going to chop that up, put that in a bag, and then that's used for dog treats throughout the day, because of a lot of dogs can't have too many treats what come in these packets. And I find this is what agrees with Callie and what goes best with Callie to get her to want to listen and do training, and it just makes Callie so much easier to handle and listen to everybody. So, and it's a nice little extra for her at the end of the day. So let's take this bowl and let's go in and see how Callie's getting on feeding her puppies. Open the gate. Yeah, so you can see there we've got a few laid down there asleep already. Purple and green. Green's kind of wandering around, might go back on. But they're looking pretty tired now, they're not quite so feisty. So they've definitely had a good feed. And Callie laid there. Just down here, we've got a bowl of water for Callie. We've got a bowl of the dried biscuits in case she feels like she wants to just eat some dry biscuits. And there's her meat, which I'll feed her once we've cleaned all the puppies and put them all back in their bed. But look, you can see Green's already took himself back to bed now. and just laid down on Callie's back leg. You're cutie, you are, Green. Yellow's on a wander, probably going to have a wee on the black mat. They like to wee on this mat area here, which is quite handy because it's easy to clean up. Look at Pink. Pink's asleep. You alright, Yellow? So you're going to see a lot more of Yellow on the channel because I'm going to keep the yellow boy, aren't we? And we're going to keep Callie's favourite here. This is Pink. And I think we're also going to keep Little Red. And Little Red, that's Little Red's bum there, buried. But she loves a cuddle and she loves being buried. But I mean, to be honest with you, all these puppies are so relaxed and chilled out. I think it's a breed thing, but if you look at Little Green fast asleep. Hello. And little eyes have opened. Hello.